What's good, Storm fans? Bryant Cook here, and today we're playing in the Legacy Showcase. I haven't played in an event on Sundays in a couple months now. I had a child, and well, my Sundays have been pretty busy. So, have this weekend to myself a little bit, and we're going to play, the Epic Storm. I've been on a heater with this list. I'm out of 30 matches, I currently have an 80 match win percentage. It's just through the roof, and we're going to hope to continue that today. We're expected to face a lot of Izzet Delver and then Mono White Initiative. Both of those matchups will be roughly 50% of the field or higher. It's 50% of the average metagame, and this is a showcase where people are playing to win. So I'm guessing it could even be up 60% or so. And well, we're pretty good against Delver, and according to my data, we are a coin flip against Initiative. And you might not believe me, but let me bring up my metagame data over here for a moment. This is my personal tracking spreadsheet. All this data is public on theepicstorm.com. So where is Initiative? Down here under Stompy variants, I am 9 and 8. 52.9%, whatever. And that's 17 match sample size, not exactly small. Okay. So I will admit a lot of that is that the Initiative deck is played by newer players or people just entering the format, because I'm not trying to be mean here, but it's relatively simple to play. Like, it's not overly complex. It plays like other Magic decks and other formats. So people are playing that, and I'm gaining an advantage by them being less experienced in the format. So in a showcase, I expect those players to be better and, play at a higher level. I probably won't be 50% against those players, but there's some hope in that matchup, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Overall, I've really enjoyed this list. People are trying to go underneath the Initiative deck by playing turn 1 decks. So Silence has really helped there. I did upload a video on this deck that you can go check out. I mean, it's a little bit late in the video, but check out that card above. And you'll notice that Silence has been pulling weight against decks like Oops All Spells, Black Red Reanimator, the Epic Gamble, things like that. We are a slower combo deck, even though we're pretty fast. We're just not a turn 1 deck. So Silence and Orim's Chant really do, pull their weight. And against Mindbreak Trap, they've just been beautiful. Painter is now the third most popular deck in the format. And Painter, the list from the PTQ, played 4 Mindbreaks in the board. So these Orim's Chants will come up huge there. On top of that, we got to consolidate a bunch of removal on our sideboard with these Prismatic Endings. By playing Prismatic Ending, we were able to go down to 6 sideboard removal spells between the 4 endings, the Slaughter Pact and the Crash. Previously, we were playing 8, which opened up some sideboard space, and I'm just pretty happy with this. That extra sideboard space became additional copies of Thoughtseize to help swap out with the main deck Galvanic Relays and non-blue matchups. Yeah, that's what I've got. So once again, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. But also make sure to check out that previous video. There's a very, very, very long deck tech in that. It's like 12 minutes explaining my entire thought process on this list. Go check that out. There's a silence going like shh or something on the YouTube cover. I don't remember. I think it's actually the card silence over the lips of the card or something with Veil of Summer screaming in the background. You'll enjoy it, I promise. And I'm gonna head on in. I have about 2 minutes before this thing begins, so I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We are facing my good friend Andre Segarra, Rearranged AS, who runs a Spirits channel on YouTube. Go check that out. Terrific person. I've known Andre since like 2004. And well, before we went live, I actually recorded a video with Andre for his YouTube channel. He told me that he would be playing Merfolk today, and we got paired into him. Kind of awkward. We're on the draw here in game number 1. I have a well-rounded hand against Merfolk. My concern is Chalice the Void, but we do have this Burning Wish into Prismatic Ending if need be. Aether Vial, strong start. We'll take a draw. Mishra's Bauble. Okay. we're just going to pass the turn. Really looking to set up an Ad Nauseam with Silence backup in this matchup. Either Vial will go up to 1, Island number 2. So we have to be worried about Hexcatcher with 2 mana, and then Curse Catcher off the Vial from Mox. I don't think we actually want that. We will fetch and go grab an Underground Sea. 5 cards in Dre's hand. We'll draw off the Mishra's Bauble. Rite of Flame is a good one. And another Wishclaw. Okay, so we will go get a Plateau. We're just going to put this Wishclaw right on the table. I would not be surprised to see a Hexcatcher. Do you have the Vial on 1 to throw in a Merfolk you don't care about? And then Daze. Okay. Wasn't expecting the Daze there. So Hexcatcher did enter, and now there's an island in Andre's hand. Vial goes up to 2. Wasteland. Brutal. Brutal. Yep, we need to draw a land here. That sort of works. Guess I'm supposed to imprint a Dark Ritual. I'm going to try to play out the Burning Wish, because I'd rather have the Wishclaw than a card off Burning Wish. And Hexcatcher down. I love it. Pass. Dre still has 1 island in hand that we know about. Aether Vial goes up to 3. Another Wasteland! Ah, oh, wow. That hurts. Take a draw. Okay. So I can get Scrubland here. Or I can just get Badlands. I think I'm going to do Badlands. Wishclaw. And that one hits. Okay. Vial on 3. True Name Nemesis. Vial stays on 3. A 3rd Wasteland. You're kidding me. Our best draw just became Lion's Eye Diamond. Draw for turn. I am going to pass. We have 5 mana here, but we need 6 mana for Ad Nauseam. Master of the Trident. So now I'm going to go to 9. Ad Nauseam starting to look a little bit dicey. Dre played the island, so there's 2 unknowns in hand. Mox Opal, that gives me Ad Nauseam. So the problem is that I'm at 9. So this is going to be a rough one. I could fail here. Dark Ritual. Tap this for mana. We're going to put Ad Nauseam on the stack. We do have a land drop, but 9 life is not a lot. Storm is 4. Okay. Decent start. We're at 7. 6. 5. 4. So if I flip a relay, this land is shut off, but I don't have anything to win here, so I need to flip. Now we're at 3. We're dead to 3 relays and an echo. Once again, the problem is I don't have enough to win. Even if I flip Wishclaw, I don't have enough to win. I could stop and try to brainstorm into the win. I think maybe that's the play here. Because I get 2 brainstorms. The Underground Sea is in the graveyard, so I'd actually have to sacrifice a real blue source or an opal or a petal. I will stop, because even if I flip a Burning Wish here, I can't use my land. So we'll play the petal. Mishra's Bauble. Mox Opal. We're looking for 2 brainstorms to carry us to victory here. Cast the brainstorm. Okay, that was pretty good. And now we'll play the opal. And I'll fetch down to 2. I believe I have enough to even silence here. I do. So we'll cast the silence. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Sacrifice the Lotus Petal for a red mana. We'll cast Burning Wish. Ad Nauseam from 9 life gets there. Hiya! Wow. Triple Wasteland, Hexcatcher Daze. No force, though. I don't know how I'm supposed to board in this matchup. We do have a sideboard guide that I made. It is available for all of our patrons. It is not available anywhere else. It is not on theepicstorm.com. You have to join our Patreon for it. But in this matchup, okay. So we're boarding out Brainstorm, the card that might have just won us that game, and we're going to board out Galvanic Relay. We want to board in Prismatic Ending, and then Thoughtseize. Is that right? Oh, the Crash. So I don't actually know if Dre's on a Chalice list. I don't know if I want to make that change or not. I think instead I'm going to board down a Thoughtseize, and I'll keep 2 Brainstorm in. You could also take out a Bauble and an Opal and keep all 4 Brainstorms in. But I think I'd rather have the consistency in my deck. Especially when Dre's on Daze Wasteland. I like Opal being a consistent mana source. We'll submit this. Wow, we've opened up quite the hand. We're going to keep this one. Turn 1 Island into Rishadan Dockhand. So Dre's definitely not on a Chalice of the Void list. And that was another very good draw here. We see the Wasteland. Fetch lands, too powerful versus Rishadan Port and Wasteland. We will fetch. So it's a little bit awkward. I'd like to be able to get a scrub land here, but with the way that this works is I can't. Because if I could get scrub land, I could cast the Silence before making the land irrelevant to the Wasteland. So I think here I'm supposed to just get the Underground Sea and accept that it's going to be wasted. I won't lie, my mind mentally blanked on this play. So in my head, this thing is a Rishadan. I mean, this doesn't make any sense, so let me say that first. This doesn't make any sense, but this is a Rishadan Port, so I was like, yeah, you tap 2 lands for Rishadan Port. Just completely blanked on the fact that you tap the Rishadan Dockhand. Foolish of me. Okay, so now we'll go to our draw step. I will play the Volcanic Island that we do not care about, and we will pass the turn. Basic Island. And the Dockhand gets in. I'm guessing there's a Hexcatcher that Dre is holding up here. Prismatic Ending. Play out a Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame. Lion's Eye Diamond. Silence. So here's the Hexcatcher. In response to the Hexcatcher, I'm going to Dark Ritual. Alright, so now the Hexcatcher can resolve. Silence. Dre plays a Daze. I will pay for it using a black mana. And now we will hold priority and put Burning Wish on the stack, adding 3 black mana. So Dre can sacrifice both Merfolk here, and I'd be forced to Galvanic Relay. But instead, we're going to be able to empty the Warrens for 18. There is a downside here. Merfolk is a deck that is capable of racing. I don't know if Dre can deal 18 damage in time. It's possible. I'm not saying it's like we have an island in play, which is a downside here. But Lord of Atlantis could, get in there for victory. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though. So I think Dre is playing towards a main deck, Echoing Truth or Chalice of the Void, something along those lines. And then we're going to crash in for 18. Okay, Dre is now at 3. And a concession, so we are victorious over Merfolk in match number 1. Plenty of showcase left. Stick around, enjoy match number 2. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Welcome to the second round. We're on the Dragons Fede Rusher. According to Goldfish, they tend to play a lot of blue combo decks. I think I'm kind of inclined to keep this. I don't know how good this hand actually is. We could mulligan. My problem here is that it doesn't do anything, and if they're not on a combo deck, these chance effects are kind of bad. If we draw like a Burning Wish or a Wish Claw, we're still kind of far away because we only have these 2 mana sources, one of which is a Chrome Mox, so that would mean imprinting Rite of Flame and only having 5 mana, and then not having mana for Chant. Actually, I'm just talking myself into a mulligan here. Let's just do it. I think I like this more already. We'll bottom the Opal. Okay. Volcanic Island into Delver of Secrets. Okay. We will take a draw. Lotus Petal is fine. Our best draw now is probably something like Lion's Eye Diamond. They're going to upkeep Brainstorm with the Delver on the stack. They flip the Delver, revealing another Brainstorm. They go to combat. We'll take 3 down to 17. They could still play a land in their second main, and they don't. We'll take a draw. Another Marsh Flats. Play it and pass. I could tap out for Burning Wish here, but it plays into Daze, and maybe they reveal a Wasteland that they were hiding on the previous turn. They play Brainstorm. So they will draw one card that they've already seen. They will look at 2 cards here. Actually, that's not true. They will look at 3 fresh cards because they played the previous Brainstorm in the upkeep. So they drew through it this turn and then played the other. They missed that land drop again and we're at 14. They have 7 in hand. We draw our own copy of Brainstorm. I'm going to use the Marsh Flats. Let's just cast a Burning Wish. Wish on the stack. It resolves, okay. We'll grab a Galvanic Relay. Pass the turn. They ponder. Ideally on our turn we would draw into more mana. They're going to combat. This is going to knock us down to 10. So 10's a pretty important number because if I fetch, I'm at 9. So if they go red source, attack, bolt, bolt, I'm dead on the following turn. They discarded a channeler. We did hit the land. They have 7 cards. Start off with a Lotus Petal. Let's silence. Let's see if they just let it resolve knowing that we have a relay in hand. Because some players would let this resolve going like, well, you're going to pass the turn and I'll get you on the next one. So that's what they did, and now I have an opportunity to try to win the game here. Alright, Brainstorm, be good to me. Let's see some Lion's Eye Diamonds. Dark Ritual Bauble. That is not good enough. What to do? So I can put back these. I need to keep the Scalding Tarn. Grab another Scrubland. Fetch going down to 8. So if I Thoughtseize, I'm dead to 1 Lightning Bolt. Currently, I'm dead to a pair of bolts. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Undo that. Let's add a red. I mean, I could empty, but I don't think empty actually makes sense here. I'm afraid of a pair of bolts. But I guess... I don't know. Like, I'm dead if they draw the land anyway. They shuffled on their previous ponder. So, I think they're more likely to have 2 bolts in hand than draw a red source and have 2 bolts. If that's the case, what should I get with this? I think it's just the Tendrils. Okay. Tough call here. Let's hope that this relay for 7 gets the job done. Pass the turn. Please don't kill me. We are in their upkeep. They found the second land. Oh no. So it's worth noting, I would have been dead to double bolt here anyway if I played Thoughtseize. Because I would be at 3 life. So playing the Thoughtseize here would not have had any outcome. They're tapping for a blue and they cast Brainstorm. Okay, that's a good sign. I'm not dead. They play a fetch down to 19. And then they play Ponder. They shuffled their library very quickly on that. Draw. Land. But I believe we're just supposed to start off on the obvious Orim's Chant here. Spell number 1. They daze. We will pay for that. They daze again. We will pay for that. Okay. So the storm is currently 3. Fetch. Grab our Volcanic, our last fetchable. Rite of Flame, Storm 4. Storm 5, Dark Ritual. Storm 6. 7, 8, 9. I'm 1 storm short. I believe I can cycle a Wishclaw for a Dark Ritual and that will get the job done. Grab Dark Ritual. Play Dark Ritual. Chromox. No. Chromox. No. Tendrils of Agony, you. Wow, that was a sweet one. Hiya. Love to see it. Take that, Delver. Heading over to the sideboard now. So, fun fact, you don't board. Without Abrupt Decay in the deck, you just don't sideboard in the matchup. I know that it seems weird, but when you take a look over at MTG Goldfish, you'll notice that a lot of Delver sideboards don't have anything in them for Storm, that's a permanent. They might have something like Flusterstorm or whatever in the sideboard these days, but permanents are pretty, not popular. Even if they did, I don't think you're supposed to sideboard Prismatic Ending against the deck with permission. I think the real plan is to just look to dodge. Game number 2, we're on the draw. We've opened up Galvanic Relay, one of the most important pieces in this matchup. You cannot convince me to mulligan. Steam Vents into a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Sure thing. We'll take a draw. Beautiful. Land pass. They get the Surveil off Channeler here. They get rid of land number 2, so they do not have the problem that they had in the first game with lacking the second land drop. They play a Volcanic into Delver of Secrets. 4 cards remain in hand. Okay. I think I'm going to just take a draw here rather than brainstorm on the end step. Okay. Well, let's cast this Brainstorm. Pretty good. Pretty good. The question is, how do we want to play this? I can try to relay now or I can wait. So if I want to relay now, I'm supposed to play out Chromox and imprint Brainstorm. I think the problem with doing it now is I open myself up to Force of Will, and I should just not do that. So I'm going to just pass the turn. Delver flips, revealing a Ponder. They play a Wasteland. Now we'll be taking 4, bringing us down to 15. And they pass. Take a draw. They do not waste me. Fetch. Grab Badlands, I guess. Rite of Flame. What about a second copy Rite of Flame? They're thinking on this one. Hardcast Force Negation? Okay. That's interesting. They surveil away Surgical Extraction. So you could be ultra greedy here and play Brainstorm, but then if you do, you actually make yourself weak to Daze on Chromox, and I don't plan on doing that. I'm not going to open myself up because I'm greedy. I'm just going to take the guaranteed Galvanic Relay for 6. Question is, do I want the permanent mana source here? I feel like I do. I know that I have a Scrubland on top. I'm going to fetch that away. And then we will relay for 6. I'm going to keep the Bauble around just for a hair so that way I can see if I need it for Metalcraft. Lion's Eye Diamond, Opal. Feel like I might. I can always wait. See what they do on their turn and then make a decision. The Expressive Iteration, Surveil Trigger. It's a Misty Rainforest. This will put sorcery to the graveyard, so the Channeler will be delirious from here on out. So that means they're attacking for 6, and I'll go to 7 life with a fetch land in my exile zone, so they are representing lethal on the following turn. I'm glad that I ended up imprinting on this Chromox because we revealed a lot of action here. And I think that our choke point is actually mana and not proactive pieces. They fetch with Polluted Delta, tapping for a blue. They ponder. They did not shuffle there. I think I'm probably going to sacrifice the Bauble. Really wish I had revealed like an Orim's Chant or something there, though. They Wasteland the Plateau. I thought that gave them... No, they already had sorcery. My bad. So I'm going to 9. They have 4 in hand. I'm going to Bauble them. They have Expressive on top. Okay. So we're going to draw 2 cards, one in our upkeep and the other in our draw step. Burning Wish. Relay. We needed mana. That was actually not very good for us. Play the Lion's Eye Diamond. Hope it doesn't get forced. This is actually a pretty juicy Force of Will target. Thought I had a Rite of Flame in there. I guess that's the one that they exiled to the Force of Negation. I thought that I was getting a Rite of Flame here. This is an even better Force of Will target. That's my bad. The Diamond resolved. Okay, we'll play out the Mox Opal. Interesting spot. Wishclaw Talisman. They force here. Pitching Murktide Regent. So let's see what they do with that Expressive Iteration. They milled it. So we have a pretty interesting choice here. We can either play the Wish Claw, we can relay for 5, or I can Burning Wish for ending. Burning Wish for ending is foiled by a Daze, which we haven't seen any of. Maybe they've pitched one. They have not. So they're likely to have had a Daze in hand. I am dead if they become delirious and then bolt me. I think I'm just going to take the guaranteed relay. Okay, Galvanic Relay for 5. Orim's Chant, Mox Opal, Marsh Flats, Wishclaw Talisman. The Brainstorm as well. Okay, I need to not die here. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. They Ponder, Surveil Trigger. They Melee Brainstorm. They did not shuffle. Red mana here makes me nervous. Meltdown. That's a good one. And they became delirious, so now I'm going to go to 2. If they have a bolt, I'm dead. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this. We have, like, no mana. Maybe a Miracle Brainstorm? We haven't seen a single Dark Ritual this game. We have 3 Lion's Eye Diamonds, 2 Rite of Flames left. Okay. Take a draw. There's a Dark Ritual. We will start off with an Orim's Chant. If we're going to win this, I need to play the Brainstorm. And I think it's not unreasonable for them to be sitting on a Pyroblast. Okay. So we are now allowed to pray that Brainstorm is good enough. Come on, deck, please. Lion's Eye Diamonds. Yes! Yes! Okay. So Storm is 2. We have a Wishclaw in exile. I believe I can just put both of these back now. So before I mess up, I just want to make sure. Alright, so hypothetically, we put the pair of tutors back. And then we fetch, go get... What land do we have left? We have 1 land left in our deck. It's Volcanic Island. The Marsh Flats doesn't do it. Okay, so... Marsh Flats is a non-target here. So Dark Ritual activate would be Wishclaw Talisman. Activate that. And then we have 6 total mana between the pair of opals and these. So the storm count there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have plenty. I think I'm going to be a Worrywart, and I might keep the Burning Wish instead. I don't know if that's crazy. Why am I clicking a Dark Ritual? Hold on, not what I wanted to click. Yeah, this works too. Okay. Play the Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, play the Wishclaw, activate the Wishclaw. We'll go grab a Lion's Eye Diamond, play the Diamond. Let's play the Marsh Flats because we can. And now I'm going to tap these for red mana. Hold that control key nice and tight. Put Burning Wish on the stack. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. Click OK. Burning Wish's ability. We will grab Tendrils of Agony, cast it, and we will be 2-0ing Delver. Turn 5, baby. That was exhilarating. Can't believe we got there, but we did it. 2-0. Plenty of Magic left to be played. I hope you enjoyed the rest of it. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. For the 3rd match in a row, we are on the draw, unfortunately. We're facing Marceline. I faced them previously on Doomsday. According to MTG Goldfish, their most recent deck was actually Mono White Initiative. If we're on the draw against Initiative, it's going to be really tough. If they're on Doomsday, it's going to be tough. I don't know if I want to mulligan to them being on Initiative, because realistically, we're probably not going to win on the draw anyway. and they've kept 7. So if I mulligan to a turn 1 and they're just on Delver, it ends up looking really bad for me. Or even Doomsday. So I think I'm going to keep this instead. If they're on initiative, I mean, it stinks, but it is what it is. Flooded Strand. So likely not initiative. I say likely because they could be playing a Boros version with fetches in it. And they're not. They're on Delver. And I'm glad that I kept this hand now. This hand is very reasonable against Delver. They bobble. Okay. Now they get their draw trigger. We'll go to our draw step. We draw Burning Wish, Bloodstained Mire, and pass the turn. Delver does not flip. That's good to see. They play an island. Ouch. We'll take 19. Another bobble. Okay, so they can use bobble here to get the Delver to likely flip. Echo of Aeons. I don't know if I feel pressured to do anything quite yet. I mean, I can play out the Burning Wish because it's kind of free if it resolves. They have 4 in hand. It's likely to be dazed. I think I'm just going to pass the turn instead. So playing the Burning Wish is free, as I mentioned, but part of me is like, well, do I put it underneath this Chrome Box so that way I can relay for at least a few cards? And they did do the bobble trick, so they drew a card that would not have flipped Delver, and now they're looking at Delver Secrets. This time it does flip it into a Ponder. Delver attacks, we go to 16, they have 6 cards in hand. They Ponder. I'd like to see like a Dark Ritual on our turn. I'd take a Rite of Flame, but mana is really what we want. They play a Wasteland. Okay. Take a draw. Mox Opal. Not quite what I wanted. Play out the Plateau. I think I'm going to try to be a little bit sneaky here. Let's fetch. I'm going to attempt to play the Wishclaw. And I really want this Wishclaw Talisman to resolve. So if it resolves, I can play Chromox and Opal, imprinting the Burning Wish, and then relay. Play out the Chromox now. Imprint this Burning Wish, as I mentioned. Mox Opal. This entire game, I think, was based on this Wishclaw Talisman resolving. Because if this got forced, it also shuts off the Echo in the future. But it's just a line that I had to take here. Relay for 4. Looks like we revealed another Galvanic Relay plus some other stuff. I'll look after. I know that some people really like it when I pop it out or whatever, but it messes up my configuration because every time I expand it, it makes my sideboard disappear. I'm not interested in that. I'd like to see what cards I have access to. So we'll just wait till it's my turn and we can analyze then. They bolt me on the end step. We're at 11 now. The Delver attack will put me to 8. Expressive Iteration. They reveal Volcanic Island. They do not play it. Instead, they reveal a second copy of Wasteland. So we will have 2 lands destroyed here. Not ideal. So this Delver attack once again puts me to 8. They have 4 cards in hand. We have to find a way to win. Play out the Marsh Flats. And I'm going to start off with a Silence. That resolves. I think I'm going to Echo here and hope that the Echo is good enough to win. And if it's not, I can relay for a bunch. So we'll activate the Wishclaw. Go grab a Lion's Eye Diamond. Dark Ritual. Play the Diamond. You might be saying, why not Ad Nauseam? I don't think I want to Ad Nauseam here. Like, I know Echo's out of the deck, but we got pretty lucky earlier. Leave 1 blue floating. Storm 5. Does this win? So we have 3 floating. Let's play Wishclaw and activate. This is Burning Wish mana. This is Tendrils mana. As long as there's a land to fetch in our deck, this should do it. And obviously post-Echo there is. So we'll play the Wishclaw. Let's sacrifice the Diamond now, which seems a little bit odd. But it's just free misclick equity. There's no way that I can possibly mess up holding priority with the Burning Wish. Spell number 9, and then 10 will be Tendrils of Agony. Our opponent concedes. From a sketchy keep to a victory, we're heading to the sideboard now. Once again, versus Delver, we do not board, we just hit submit. On the draw in game number 2, we've opened up a wonderful hand. We will keep this. Opponents also kept 7. They play a Scalding Tarn. Picking up a Volcanic Island into Delver Secrets, classic opener. We'll play the Bloodstained Mire past the turn. The Opal's a good draw because we have the Lotus Petals, so this could help us with a powerful relay early on. Or even an Empty the Warrens. They're going to make sure that their Delver of Secrets flips this time with this upkeep Brainstorm. Now the Delver triggers, reveals a Lightning Bolt. So they did leave in Bolt unlike our previous opponent. Well, I don't know that they didn't leave in Bolt, but they certainly didn't have one after seeing a lot of cards in their deck. Okay, and no post-combat land here for our opponent. We'll take a draw. Play Scalding Tarn past the turn. I'm sort of tempted to try to Brainstorm on their end step. I want to make sure I don't get hit by Wasteland, but that's what I'm looking to do here. Another Brainstorm for them. They have 6 cards, so they're definitely looking to race this game. So I go to 14. These 2 fetches would put me to 12. If I empty, they could race me. We'll grab Underground Sea, and they cast the Brainstorm. They have 6 cards in their hand. The Echo is not that great because I can't actually use it. So I think instead we're going to just put these 2 back and fetch. Fetch in our upkeep. This puts us to 12 as I mentioned, which is the correct number for this Delver to flip and race our empty. So we'll take a draw. Relay, that was incredibly good here. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Let's tap it for a white and silence. See if this resolves. Forcible, pitching Murktide Regent. Another thing I could do is just sit on this Burning Wish so that way I don't lose to a Surgical if they have a second force. I think I'd rather do that. So we'll play out the Opal, because if I do the Burning Wish into Relay line, I lose Metalcraft and a bunch of mana going into my Relay turn. So let's just Relay for 7. I already have a Tutor in hand. Okay. Delver Secrets. We do know that they have a Bolt in their hand as well. So if they somehow both flipped the Delver and had a secret Volcanic Island in their hand, they could get me. But Delver does not flip. They cast a Brainstorm. We know that they have at least 1 copy of Lightning Bolt. They play a Mishra's Bauble, 4 cards in hand. And they're going to redraw a card that they just put back with the Brainstorm. I'm at 8. Okay, so it looks like we have some mana there. That's good. A lot of mana, actually. We'll play out the Scrubland. And let's Brainstorm. Storm 1. Pretty good, pretty good. They have 5 in hand, so the worst possible thing they could do is have double force plus like Daze or Surgical. I'm going to ensure that my Burning Wish can be lethal by keeping around an extra Wish Claw. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Let's play the Wish Claw Talisman. Storm is 4. They force a negation. Let's play another Wish Claw, Storm 6. They're thinking a long time here. That resolved. We'll activate. We'll go grab a Silence effect. Let's grab Silence itself, and this is going to sound silly, but it can't be misdirected. You never know what garbage your opponent will be playing, so we'll cast Silence here, Storm is 7. Storm number 8 will be Lion's Eye Diamond. And once again, I could have gotten the... No, I couldn't have actually. Ignore me. And now we'll go grab the Tendrils, and the opponent concedes. We're now 3-0, beating Delver again! Alright, so I think we're about a third of the way through now. Still tons of Magic left to be played, but feeling pretty good right now. Let's just keep playing tight, making solid decisions, you know, that sort of thing. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Alright, time for the 4th match. We're facing Delthar, who tends to play a little bit of everything in Legacy, but if I had to put them on one deck, it's probably Painter. Here we have a 4-lander, which is really reliant on Brainstorm. I think that this hand is kind of risky against a deck like Painter, so I'm going to mulligan. This is not a great one. It looks like we're going to 5 now. Going to 5. This is a pretty darn good one. So we're going to bottom the Chrome Mox and the Badlands. We are just short of Peer into the Abyss. So I think we have a couple choices here. I can throw in Empty the Warrens for 12, or I can Echo against Painter. If they have Simian Spirit Guide, I get wrecked. Or if they're not on Painter. So we'll Dark Ritual. And they're just hard F6'd. So I'm going to Echo and hope that they're not on Painter. Alright, it's from 6. And we did not hit. Let's brainstorm, see if I can do anything here. Storm is 7. And that is a hit. Wow. Okay, so we'll put back... This is tough here. I need to figure this out. We have 1 black floating. I want to see if I can chant them. So if I play Scrubland Chant, I have 1 black floating. I think we can get... We're definitely putting back the Badlands, and I think we can get away with putting back the other Opal. So we'll play a Scrubland, tap it for white. Yeah, this does it. Cast Orim's Chant targeting you. Okay. And now we'll play Mishra's Bauble, Lion's Eye Diamond, Mox Opal, keep the new one, tap it for a red, put Rite of Flame on the stack, hold control, cast Burning Wish, and then let's bobble them for info. They have a welder, so now we know they're on Painter. Boom! Okay. Whew. Turn 1 versus Painter. I'm going to check the sideboard guide for how we decided to board in this matchup. Prismatic Ending, Thoughtseize, Crash, Relays, Mishra's Bauble, and the Echo of Aeons. Looks like we're 1 over at the moment. Oh, a Mox Opal. Okay. I just can't read. So that is the board plan. So when I make these sideboard guides, it's not always just me. On the most recent one, I also asked Alex McKinley and Jordan Cream of the Epic Storm team to help me. So that way we had a lot of thought put into the sideboard guide. We really labored over every single matchup. This seems fine. I'll try it. Play Line of the Void. Well, I'm glad I didn't keep an Echo hand. Well, both Echoes are also in our sideboard. Okay, they have 5 cards. Another Brainstorm. We will Thoughtseize. They didn't play the Welder on 1. We just have to take the Painter. Pass. They play the Ancient Tomb. They drew another Painter! Ah, that's not good for me. Okay. Take a draw. It's Burning Wish. I'm going to cast the Brainstorm. They could choose to blast it, and they don't. Get rid of the Chrome Mox. We're dead if they naturally draw Grindstone. And I think I'm going to get rid of the Burning Wish. Play out Bloodstained Iron will pass the turn. That Painter was such a huge draw for them. They attack for 1, we fall to 17. I want to end step Brainstorm here, but then I'm cutting myself off of a white source in case I draw Ending. But if I Brainstorm now... Alright. I'm just going to play it safe, I think. We'll grab Plateau. I want the white source. Take a draw. Dark Ritual. So if I cast Silence, I can play my land. So we have 2 mana. 4 mana. 5, 6, which is 1 short. I'll cast the Brainstorm. I don't think we necessarily need double Silence. Put the extra Silence on top. So this way, if I end up needing to silence on their turn, I can draw the other one for our turn. Hold on, can I double silence someone on our turn? I don't think I can. So maybe I should actually keep it to beat Mind Break. I'm talking myself into it. All right, I want it. Let's draw out the first blast. This saves us a mana on the following turn. And now we'll pass. Giving my opponent a lot of draw steps here to find the Grindstone. I also don't know why they haven't played the City of Traders yet. They played it. Goblin Engineer. So this can put Grindstone to the graveyard. And now I need to fetch before I draw this Chrome Mox on top of the deck that we don't want. So now I'm at 13. We'll grab Scrubland, take a draw. It's a good one. Spell number 1 will be Silence. All right, no Mindbreak traps. Okay, so now we can cast Rite of Flame, Dark Ritual. And they are, this is actually the opponent that took second in the PTQ, by the way, with 4 Mindbreak in their board. All right, so Storm is 5. They're at 18. Play the Wishclaw. So that's from 6. Burning Wish would be 7. Tendrils would be 8, so that's short. We just have to Ad Nauseam here. From 13 life, no Echo in the deck. And I believe we have a land drop. Because we fetched this turn, we didn't play a land. And we revealed the Volcanic. Okay, looking for a Burning Wish plus some mana. There we go, I believe we have it now. We do have a Crash in our deck, by the way, so we need to remember that. I can't die if I flip, so I'm going to flip. We'll just stop there. And I am right that we have a land drop. I only flipped because I was like pretty sure, but not completely sure. But instead, we're going to be 4-0. Imprint the Thoughtseize. Play the Mishra's Bauble. The Tendrils is in the sideboard. So we'll add some mana here. And then slam down on that control key first. Sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond, putting our entire hand into exile. Tendrils of Agony. Boom. This is how we do. 4-0. We're on a little bit of a heater. Let's see if we can keep it up. Match number 5 coming up in just a moment. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Match number 5, we're facing Alberto SD, who used to, if my memory serves me correctly, used to be a Lands player. Their entire recent history on Goldfish is Mono White Initiative, and I've faced them recently on Mono White Initiative, so we are very fortunate that we won the die roll here. Looking for a hand that can, be explosive. And this hand is explosive, but it's lacking that tutor effect that we so desperately need. We do have an Orim's Chant as a cycle because you can cast it on your opponent's upkeep to take a fresh draw. But with the hand we have, we'd be drawing towards exactly Wishclaw Talisman, because even if we drew Burning Wish, we can't cast it. So let's go to 6 cards instead. I mean, this is fine, but a turn 1 lock piece would beat me here. Put the Myra on the bottom. So I have the choice. I could imprint the Dark Ritual and keep the Chant to cast in their upkeep, but if I do that, I can only draw Lion's Eye Diamond to make me win. And I feel like that's not exactly the best odds, so I'm going to hope that they just don't have a turn 1 lock piece. And then we'll play the Wishclaw Talisman, Mox Opal. So now, any draw that makes a mana, and I can cast Ad Nauseam on the second turn. There's a Lotus Petal. Yep, it is initiative. From Mox, they imprint a Seasoned Dungeoneer. While our opponent's thinking, we really, really need to win game number 1 if we want to win this match. Because winning game number 1 means that we get to be on the play in game number 3, assuming that we lose game number 2. And being on the play is just so huge. So ideally, our opponent here would cast a spell that we don't care about, and then we draw a mana source. I wonder what they're deciding between here. Is it like Anointed Peacekeeper, Elite Spellbinder? What's the deal? 3 mana. Touch of the Spirit Realm. So they're going to hit my Wishclaw Talisman. That's just brutal. Oh, they're going after Chrome Mox. Okay. Come on, Lion's Eye Diamond. Please. Lion's Eye Diamond. Draw. That would have done it, not anymore. We have to pass the turn. They play another Chrome Mox. White Plume Adventurer, Elite Spellbinder. They get to take my Dark Ritual now. Alright, so Lion's Eye Diamond just became our best draw. And ding dong! Wow, very lucky here. Okay, so we'll tap this for mana. Use the Bloodstained Mire. Go grab Plateau, I guess. Sacrifice the diamond, and now we will activate the Wishclaw, putting Ad Nauseam on the stack. We do have a land drop because I drew the Bloodstained Mire on the previous turn. Grab the Ad Nauseam, cast it. Galvanic Relay. Mox Opal, Bloodstained Mire, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Lotus Petal. So now we have Metalcraft, but we need ways to win the game. So we want to find Burning Wish. Revealing both Relay, not the best thing here. All right, we're at 10. Another Lotus Petal. We're at 9. Uh-oh. So we have one card in the deck that kills us now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana we can make. I'm going to stop here. That was not a very good Ad Nauseam. Okay, so we will play out the Opal, cast Brainstorm. Okay, we'll put back 2 lands. And I believe that does it. Play out the Opal, cast Dark Ritual, play the Bloodstained Mire. It's free to cast this Dark Ritual. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's the same cost. Term is 10. We'll go to 2. Grab the Volcanic. Red. Burning Wish. So twice, I just want to point out twice so far that Brainstorm has bailed us out. I just want to point that out because for a while, people were really all about cutting Brainstorm from the deck. Oh, it's the only blue card. It's not that good. Brainstorm is incredible. And I get wanting to be less colors, but cutting Brainstorm is not it. I'm just letting you know. I uploaded a video without Brainstorm and we did not do well. The card just carries so much weight and it puts a lot on its back. I think playing without the card is just kind of silly. It's worth noting that their last list did not have Mindbreak Trap in the board, so I'm not going to leave in any copies of Chant. So we're going to take out all 4 Orim's Chant/Silence effects. We're going to bring in the Slaughter Pact, the Crash, 3 copies of Prismatic Ending. That's 64. We're going to board out all 3 copies of Galvanic Relay. And now we're 1 card over. I believe that the last card, according to the Cyborg Guide, is the Mishra's Bauble, and it is. Okay, that's 60. Hit submit. Game number 2, we're on the draw. Here's an interesting hand because the Chalice of the Void on 1 wrecks me, and Archon of Emeria beats me. But we do have Prismatic Ending. I think that we were supposed to keep this and just assume that you'll draw lands. We have a first turn Lotus Petal. Draw Mox. They look like this Worm deck here. 4 mana. Chalice of the Void on 0. I do have this Prismatic Ending. Into Thalia. Quite the opener. Okay, and we drew a Scalding Tarn, which was a great hit here. We do have double Prismatic. We are like, our opponent has 2 cards in hand after their draw step. Depending on what they are, we can actually come back and win this. Okay, I'm at 18. And they're just passing. So this game is within reach. We'll grab Underground Sea, and you're really going to get to see the strength of Prismatic Ending in this game. That was a good draw. All right, so we are going to pay 2 mana. Prismatic Ending to Thalia. And we'll pass the turn. You might be saying, how did you do that? Prismatic Ending only cares about the colors paid. It doesn't care about what X is actually equal to. You can look up further rulings online, but that is how the card works. They play another land. They have 2 cards in hand after this and names a creature type. Human. They pass the turn. Chrome Mox. Okay. What's Prismatic Ending the Chalice? Brainstorm. I believe that this means we can Ad Nauseam. So I would play a land. Alright, so assuming I put back Chrome Mox Burning Wish. Play a land, Dark Ritual. I think I'm actually short. I think I'm short. So Chrome Mox and Print Crash. What if I put back LED? I could put back LED Burning Wish. And that would do it. I would not be playing around Mindbreak Trap. But I think that's fine. Play out the Chrome Mox. And it feels like our opponent has hit F6. Dark Ritual. Ad Nauseam. We're at 15 life. There is an Echo in our deck. Okay, we just need some zeros now. Yes! We've got it. I mean, I need a card to imprint to this Chrome Mox, but we've got it. Chrome Mox does say non-artifact, and that will do. We'll stop there. Play out Opal. Play a Bauble. Dark Ritual. Let's see what they kept. Okay, yeah, those are 2 blanks. It looks like we're about to be 5-0 beating initiative. Wow. We're going to beat the Chalice of the Void into Thalia draw. Okay. Rite of Flame, Rite of Flame, Burning Wish. Don't even need to sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond here. Let's go grab that Tendrils of Agony. 5-0, baby. We've done it. Okay, still have not dropped even a game yet. 2-0 every single round. Okay, I believe we're halfway through now. Let's just keep playing tight, one match at a time. Don't count our chickens. That's a great way to lose out and be disappointed. So, one decision at a time, one game at a time. That's what we're looking at. The best legacy podcast? That would be Eternal Glory featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. Welcome to the 6th round. We are on the play. Our opponent has 1 result in their Goldfish history, and it is Legacy Painter. I'm going to put them on that for this round. We've opened up a pretty darn good hand we'll keep. Okay. Badlands. We'll play out the Chrome Mox, imprint the Rite of Flame. So you might be saying, Bryant, you don't need to imprint. You have Metalcraft for Mox Opal. That is true, but this way it's a permanent mana source in case I need it. Play out the Opal, bobble, and pass the turn. In their upkeep, we will bobble them. And it looks a lot like Painter. Our best draws are Dark Ritual or Lion's Eye Diamond. They just have Mountain Pass. We'll draw off the bobble. And then for our draw step, Relay and Brainstorm. So we can draw out a Blast here with this Brainstorm and then Relay for 3. But they don't do that. So we'll put back the 2 lands. We'll fetch. And then we're going to Relay for 3. Not exactly what I wanted to do in this matchup, but our opponent had a pretty lackluster opener. We do know that they're sitting on a Simian Spirit Guide as well. Play the Relay. 3 cards coming off the top. They are not the 2 lands we put back because we shuffled them away with the Scalding Tarn. So I see at least 1 Lion's Eye Diamond there. And they do nothing on the end step. We'll bobble them in the upkeep. So they have Lotus Petal Simian Spirit Guide. It's a lot of fast mana. They play the Lotus Petal into a Goblin Welder. Okay. So once again, they still have Blast in hand. Looks like we exiled another Relay, so that does lower our deck's overall mana value. We draw another Rite of Flame. I'm not going to care that this isn't going to make 3. I think the mana that this provided for the Relay last turn was well worthwhile. From is 2. And now we're going to put Ad Nauseam on the stack. This is a game 1, so ideally we don't care much about Mind Break. What a great start. Echo of Aeons. Okay. We do have to worry a little bit about Lightning Bolt. That is a card that they could have. There's 1/3 left in the deck we can flip. We'll stop there. Cast Silence. So if they have a Lightning Bolt, they would have to play it now. Or Double Bolt because they have the Simian Spirit Guide. So it might have been reckless to flip that that Dark Ritual. Because it does put me dead to Double Bolt. If I flip like a 2 there instead. I didn't consider Double Bolt at the time. Wow, I accidentally made the right play. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, not the right play. I shouldn't have flipped the Dark Ritual, but I recognized that I should play around Double Lightning Bolt and stopped. That was the correct play. Okay. Let's just cast this Brainstorm. It's free to do so. All lands, baby. All right, play out Chrome Mox. We will imprint the Silence. Mishra's Bobble. Play the Wish Claw. Sacrifice. And then use the Lion's Eye Diamond as well for red. Activate the Wishclaw Talisman. Go grab a Burning Wish. Storm 16, and then Storm 17 will be Tendrils of Agony. Okay, so I accidentally got there. Big fan of winning. And now we have to prepare for the next game. So once again, we want the endings. We want the crash. I'm going to consult the sideboard guide again. Thoughtseize. Get rid of the relays. The Echo, 2 bobbles and an opal. Okay. try it out. This is an interesting hand. So we have an answer to Mind Break and an answer to Hate Permits, but we don't have any action. I'm going to try this. I think that these are the sort of hands that are acceptable on the draw. Would I love a Wish Claw or a Burning Wish? You bet. But I think having, you know, those two key cards are pretty important. They have a first or an Ancient Tomb into a Painter. Okay. So they also have Blast up right now. I'm going to attempt to Thoughtseize them. We'll tap the Underground for a black, cast the Thoughtseize. So if they have a Blast in hand, they could blast my Thoughtseize or my land. But if they do, they lose their red source. They're floating a red. Are you going to destroy my land? They counter the Thoughtseize. Okay. I'm also fine with that, because that could possibly clear way for my Prismatic Ending. They attack with the Painter. I am at 18. Another Painter Servant, so now I'm not going to Ending. They name blue again. Wish Claw. Let's play the Talisman. Very close to an Ad Nauseam protected silence here. Or silence protected, Ad Nauseam protected by silence. I can't talk. Yeah, we need like a Lotus Petal and we can do it, or a Chrome Mox. We go to 16. They have 3 in hand. Take a draw. That does it. So we'll start off by playing Silence. Shh. Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. Tap the Opal for red. We will cast Rite of Flame. Dark Ritual. And now we will put Ad Nauseam on the stack. We'll keep one of each color floating. Don't have to worry about Lightning Bolt this time. Echo is out of the deck. We do have a Crash in the deck. Not a lot of mana so far. There's a diamond. Okay, we've got this now. There's a Lotus Petal and another diamond. I'll stop at 6. They don't need to know that I don't keep an Echo. I feel like sometimes players are just like, oh, it's free for me to keep flipping here, I might as well. And that is true. It is free, but sometimes it gives your opponents hints. Like, oh, they might not have Echo in their deck post-board. And I don't want to give my opponents that information. So now we cast the Burning Wish. And go grab that Tendrils. We are now 6-0 without dropping a single game. There's 2 rounds left after this one. Okay. 1 round at a time, 1 turn at a time, play tight. That's my mentality right now. We're going to keep on doing that. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. All right, time for, what is this, round number 7? There's only 1 more round left after this one. I haven't faced Oscar or Franco. Most of their history on Goldfish is of other formats. They do have 1 legacy result from months ago on Reanimator. I'm going to believe that they're not on Reanimator if they're this far into the tournament. So I don't know what to put them on here, but we have a very slow and clunky hand. I think we can do better on a mulligan. This hand does play Magic, but is it the kind of Magic we want to play? It's extremely slow. If we get hit by a Wasteland, the hand doesn't even function. I'm going to choose 6 cards instead. Not great. Would have liked a mix between this hand and hand number 1. They're going to 5. Maybe they are on Reanimator. Interesting. They keep 2. We're going to bottom the Brainstorm and a Lotus Petal. They play a Scalding Tarn. Interesting. Volcanic Island. They're on Delver. Okay. Wishclaw is fine here. We'll play out the Plateau and pass. 5 cards versus 5 cards. I'd say that they're a little bit favored in that situation, especially when they let on turn 1 Delver Secrets. Does not flip. Not Wasteland, okay. They pick up a Volcanic and cast Ponder. They shuffled on the Ponder, 3 cards in hand. And another Ponder. They did not shuffle on that one. So they have 3 cards in hand. They're attacking for 1. My best draw here is probably like a Lion's Eye Diamond. Take a draw. Another Silence. I'm going to play the Burning Wish, see if it resolves. They force a will, pitching Delver, going down to 1 card in hand. Yeah, it's pretty good. The Delver flips, revealing a Lightning Bolt. So we can probably assume that the last card in their hand isn't Daze. Is it a Murktide region? It is. Okay, so they're attacking for 3. I'm going to go to 16. They're putting me on a clock here. Draw for turn. Our best draw on our next turn is definitely Lion's Eye Diamond, because that would give us a Silence Protected Echo. They play a Bauble. We know that they have Bolt in hand. Okay. I am at 7. Grab a blue source in case we draw into Brainstorm. So I could silence them here to stop them from potentially drawing another copy of Lightning Bolt and making sure that this resolves. But I want to see what my options are. Like, if I actually end up needing every mana here, I don't want to limit myself by holding up silence. So I'm going to allow them to draw off the Bauble. Please, deck. Please. What does that do? Not a lot. I mean, we could put Ad Nauseam on the stack from 6 life, essentially 3 because they have a Bolt in hand. Let's cast the Silence. And that just resolves. Okay. So I can Ad Nauseam from 6 after... No, we do have a land drop. Or I can Miracle Brainstorm. I think we're trying to Ad Nauseam from 6. We have an Echo and 3 Relays in the deck. We have a land drop. I mean... There's no changing it now. Miracle Brainstorm doesn't even... Like, I would need, like, Burning Wish LED, but I don't have red mana. Or, like, LED Echo. Alright, I think it's just the Ad Nauseam. Chromox. Bloodstained Mire. There's our land. Bauble. Volcanic. Claw. So, like, a pair of LEDs comes really close now. Brainstorm. I'm at 2. I have to flip. There it is. Okay, so we lost game number 1 to Delver. It was a mulligan to 5. The way that the game played out, I probably could have kept my 7, but I think that 7 would have been incredibly risky. We're just going to resubmit. That's our first game loss. It happens. No need to be upset. Let's just focus on, you know, the next game. Game number 2, we are on the play. So this hand is very good, but I need to draw another mana source. I'll keep, but it's certainly risky. We're going to be sitting here on this Scalding Tarn for a little bit, I think. Alright, Tarn pass. Volcanic. Into Delver. Sure thing. Take a draw. That was very good. Play out the Petal. Okay, so the Petal resolves. We'll fetch. We're going to cast a Dark Ritual. And another Dark Ritual. Hope that the Wishclaw resolves. I want it to resolve so that way I can use the Opal. And it does. Okay. I'm going to keep the Silence around. So I could silence looking to draw out a Force of Will and burn the Petal, but I think I want my resources. So we're going to get to see 6 fresh cards off the top here. Pass the turn. You might be saying, Bryant, you should have cast Silence, used the Petal. That's a reasonable thing to do, but what if I don't reveal any protection off the relay? Or I'm short on mana. I think that this just, it's the safest thing to do, expecting an average relay instead of needing a great one. They flip Force of Will the Delver. They play Wasteland. Yep. That was a mighty combo. Flip into Force plus Wasteland, attack for 3. I'm at 16 life now. Channeler. Okay. There is a Chant in there. We'll play the Marsh Flats. Play the Bauble. We will Orim's Chant them. And that just resolved. Okay. I think I want to Brainstorm here. Oh, I can't get Volcanic. That's annoying. Ugh. I do have a guaranteed Echo. Then I'm giving them a Wishclaw. I'm going to go for the higher upside play. I'm going to cast the Brainstorm. There we go. Petal. Diamond. This room is 5. This room is 6. We can use Wishclaw, go get LED. I believe we have it. Play this. This room is 7. Play the line, or play Wishclaw. We'll go get another copy of Lion's Eye Diamond for Storm. Okay. Play out this. Sacrifice for black. Play the Burning Wish. And now we'll grab the Tendrils of Agony. Cast it targeting the opponent for 11. We took game number 2. Once again, no sideboarding changes. We'll just click submit and hope for a similar hand, I guess. All mana. Ay, ay, ay. I believe we're supposed to mulligan this. So if we draw a white source, we have Silence into Echo. I think we're supposed to keep this, and I'm actually going to bottom the Burning Wish so that way it can't get surgicaled. Steam Vents. Into Delver. Come on, duck. Draw. There we go. Bobble. Lines at Diamond. Lines at Diamond. Cast the Silence. I'm going to add red mana here because we have Burning Wishes and Relays in our deck, and I'd love to see either. I'm going to leave the Bobble. Mostly for Metalcraft. Let's draw a new hand. Storm 6. Yes! 7-0, baby. Play the Plateau. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lotus Petal. Chrome Mox. Let's imprint the Brainstorm. We're going to hold that control key nice and tight. Sacrifice for black. Turn 1 Delver to lock ourselves into top 8. Couldn't have writ a better story. Boom! 7-0. 1 round left. Welcome to round number 8. We are playing just for information at this point. I'm on the draw. QB Turtle won the die roll, so we get some idea of what they're playing for top 8. And it looks like the answer is Delver. Okay. Another Orim's Chant. We'll play out the Bobble. Pass the turn. I would have put them on initiative if they just conceded. So I'm kind of glad that we're playing this out now. Bobble. I'll take another Bobble. Draw. Lotus Petal. Whoops. Turn off auto yield. Hey, we get a spell in second main now. Great. I didn't mean to hit F2, but I did. Now they're using their Misty Rainforest. Surprise, surprise, Volcanic Island, Expressive Iteration. They play a Volcanic off the Expressive, still 7 cards in hand. Let's bobble ourselves. Galvanic Relay is perfect. Hell yeah. Draw off the Bobble, draw off our turn. Chrome Mox. Let's play the Chrome Mox. Imprint Burning Wish. Rite of Flame. Lotus Petal. We're going to attempt to draw out some counter magic here with an Orim's Chant. Target you. And it just resolves. Okay, not what I wanted to happen, but we'll still take a relay. 5 cards. Pass the turn. They play a Brainstorm. Fluted Delta. Ponder. Interesting that they played their land before doing a lot of this stuff, because now any wasteland they find doesn't work. This turn, that is. Is this a Murktide? And it is. 6/6 with 6 cards in hand. Ooh, that's a pretty good relay for 5. Play the Marsh Flats. Play Opal. Rite of Flame. Cast Orim's Chant. And they just let that one go. Okay. So I believe we can Ad Nauseam from here. Fetch down to 17. I could also just relay, but I think that we should Ad Naus. We have a mana open, 2 relays out of the deck. We actually have a bunch of the higher mana value things out of the deck, so this should be successful. Okay. Well, I opened up my fat mouth and then we flipped Echo. Okay. We've got this. Bobble, Opal, Badlands. We'll stop at 3. Play out the Petal. Lion's Eye Diamond. Play out an Opal. Keep. Mishra's Bobble. Let's look at their top card. Expressive Iteration. Rite of Flame. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Play the Wishclaw from exile. Activate it. Grab a Burning Wish. Cast the Burning Wish. Hit yes. And then we will select Tendrils of Agony. Cast it, targeting your opponent, and we are off to game number 2. Just like that. I'm going to give credit to this win for Relay. I think it's really the Relay that won this game and not the Ad Nauseam. And if that makes no sense to you, I'm talking about in my personal data spreadsheet for tracking. Once again, we do not board for the Delver matchup, we just hit submit. Game 2, we've opened up triple Mox Opal. I don't think we're going to keep that, unfortunately. And this is reasonable. We will keep this, bottom the Chrome Mox. With a hand like this, we're looking at Wishclaw as pseudo-protection because the plan with it is to go get a silence. And there's a Relay. Okay. Don't mind that. The Delver does not flip. They have Wasteland, unfortunately. Okay. Would have liked to not be hit by Wasteland there. And another Delver. We have to pass. That Rite of Flame would have been a good draw if the Wasteland didn't happen. Brainstorm. This might be a quick one. They have a really good draw here. They flip Revealing Force of Will. Okay. They attack for 6, so I'm going to go to 13. And another Wasteland. Brutal. We draw Bloodstained Mire. I'm afraid that we're running out of time, though. So with these being flipped, I fetch next turn going to... So this Relay shut off, the Ad Nauseam shut off. I'm going to allow them to take their turn so I can get information, but we're just going to concede after that. So now we go to 7. But the Bloodstained Mire puts me to 6, so that's why the Relay isn't a good card anymore. They have 4 in hand, one of which is a Force. Yeah, we're just out of this. Bummer. Game 3. Once again, we do not sideboard for this matchup. On the play for the 3rd game. Unfortunately, not a keep. This feels like an Echo hand to me and not a Relay hand. We'll bottom the Relay. Play out the Bobble. Target myself. Chrome Mox. I don't really want that, but if I fetch, I'm opening myself up to Wasteland. So my point was always to brainstorm on the opponent's turn, which is why I made this play. I think I'm going to allow that to happen. So we'll grab an Underground Sea. I'll draw off Bobble. Draw the card, and it's Marsh Flats. That's a good one. So before they can play a land, I'm going to cast Brainstorm, so that way I can't get hit by Pyroblast or Daze. These are both fine. We'll put those there. And I no longer care about Wasteland. Turn 1, Dragon's Rage Channeler. You got it. We'll play out the other Mire. I am not going to play the Wishclaw. I'm just going to pass. I think there's some question on whether or not I would like the Mox Opal on top of the deck. I'm trying to think through the next turn. I can start on Rite of Flame and then play Orim's Chant into Wishclaw, LED, Opal, obviously with my Marsh Flats in play, into an Echo. So I think I'm interested in that. The downside is if they have double force for these 2 artifacts. I take 1, I'm at 18. Ponder, so they get the Surveil trigger. They Surveil away Meltdown. They do not shuffle, they play Wasteland. I no longer think I want the Mox Opal on top of the deck. We'll fetch. Grab Scrubland. Come on, deck. Burning Wish, that's interesting. Let's fire off the Chant and see if it draws out any interaction. Force of Negation. And they kept their top card. So I could go Rite of Flame, LED, Burning Wish into Echo. I don't feel like losing to a Daze right now, so I'm not going to take that line. Another Wasteland. Brutal. Just devastating. Okay. I'm at 16. Delver Secrets, they have 3 cards in hand. This would be a great spot to Echo if I can draw into another mana source to play through Daze. Draw for turn? Not quite. Bummer. I'm not going to I'll go all in against Daze. I feel like that's just reckless. Pass the turn. Let's see if the Delver flips. It does not. So they're attacking for 2, and I'll go to 14 here. And they're just passing the turn. So it must have been a creature, not a land. Chrome Mox. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to play out the Chrome Mox. We'll imprint Rite of Flame. Lion's Eye Diamond. They've already surveilled away one Meltdown. If they have another, I'm not going to play around the second Meltdown. And then we'll play Wishclaw Talisman. Storm is 4. And it resolves. Pass the turn. Delver of Secrets triggers in their upkeep. It does not flip. This time they do play a land. So we're going to fall to 12 here. 2 mana. Is it Murktide? It is. So they have 3 in hand. Take a draw. That was a very good hit. Cast Silence. Ideally, they would just let this resolve because then I have Burning Wish into Echo. They pitch Daze. Flip or fetch with Marsh Flats. I go to 11. Grab Plateau, I guess. Burning Wish. We're going to grab Echo of Aeons. So I could Echo here. I would be able to make a land drop. So the problem with casting Echo here is the Murktide becomes a 7. If Delver flips, I'm dead to the Channeler without anything else happening. Instead, I'm going to just pass because I feel like it's unlikely that they hit Delirium. And next turn, I'd have better odds with more untapped resources. So now they flip Delver to a Force of Will. What? Oh, that's brutal. Okay. So this puts me to 1 life. And they flipped into Force of Will. Devastating. Draw for turn. Play the Lotus Petal. We're going to activate Wishclaw. Grab Silence. Cast the Silence. Is the last card in your hand a blue card? And it was another Daze. They could have dazed last turn and chose not to. And we're all in on Echo of Aeons, and they are not silenced. Not loving my odds here. This doesn't do it. Lotus Petal. See if they left in Lightning Bolt. Okay, let's Rite of Flame. Burning Wish. The Force of Will, pitching Murktide. And I'm just going to concede. We can't win the game anyway. It is a bummer, but I believe that we're locked anyway. We were second coming in. We're 7-1. There's some other people playing here to be 7-1, but the math says we should make it. Not to worry. Congrats to QB Turtle for going 8-0. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to go eat some dinner and then top 8 time. All right, it's top 8 time. We're on the draw against CoolUser. I was actually the second seed going into top 8, but Magic Online for some reason doesn't have the play draw rule. So unfortunately, we're on the draw. We're looking at a mulligan here. I mean, we're all in on Petal Brainstorm. Our opponent, last time I faced them, was on a Yorion 4-color control deck. According to MTG Goldfish, they were on Mono White Initiative for a while, and then they switched to Cephalid Breakfast. And then their last result was with a Bant Initiative deck featuring Force of Will, Prismatic Ending, and obviously all the broken initiative creatures. Once again, we are going to mulligan this for a better 6, hopefully. Yeah, this is fine. Keep and bottom the Orim's Chant. I mean, that would have been a perfect 7, but as a 6, it's still pretty good. We'll take a draw. Dark Ritual. That doesn't quite do it. I'm going to just pass here. Rather than cast this spell, I'm just going to pass. Because we want a card that we can imprint to Chrome Box and then cast Burning Wish with Silence off of Opal, and I can't do that. The Dark Ritual just wasn't what we needed there. Urza's Saga, so they're not on the initiative deck. What are you playing? We'll play our Plateau. Silence. Let's see if it resolves. I'm not sure what this is. Okay. They cast a Brainstorm. Silence on the stack. They Force Will pitching Narcomoeba, but it's Cephalid Breakfast. Okay. So Storm is 3. I can present lethal here. Question is, do we want to go all in? Their last list did have 4 days in it. We'll play the Chrome Mox. We're going to imprint the Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. Mox Opal. Make a red. Rite of Flame. Tap this for a black. We will cast the Burning Wish. Sacrifice the diamond for triple black. So if they daze me here, I can just relay. That resolves. Grab the Tendrils. Cast Tendrils. Cephalid Breakfast is a nightmare matchup. And they conceded. Wow, we got it. A little surprised by that. They could have dazed the Tendrils there and really blown me out of the water as well. I believe that we added Cephalid Breakfast to the Cyborg Guide. We are adding in Thoughtseize and taking out Galvanic Relay. Okay. This might be my worst matchup in the top 8. I'll keep this. Island into Ponder. We'll take a draw. Okay, so we're currently looking at a turn 2 Ad Nauseam protected by Orim's Chant. Brainstorm. They play a Scalding Tarn, and it looks like they're passing. Decent draw. That was a very decent draw. Let's cast Dark Ritual. How about another one? Fetch. Grab Plateau. Silence you. They force a will pitching Step Through. They have 4 cards in hand. Lion's Eye Diamond. Wishclaw Talisman. I'm going to Echo. Play around Daze here, rather than put Ad Nauseam on the stack. They're fetching in response. They pick up a Tundra, 4 cards in hand. Bluster Storm. Wow. Okay, that's kind of brutal. Might as well pay, right? Like maybe they misclicked, I don't know. But turn 2 was not good enough. They have the Illusionist, so are you going to have a turn 3 here? No turn 3. Chromox is a terrible draw. If this Saga gets to 3, they can go and get Shuko, and that will win the game. They play a Brainstorm. Looted Delta. Even if I draw a Lion's Eye Diamond here, it doesn't do it. So I have to like brainstorm into like, I don't know, double LED. Yeah, that just doesn't get the job done. I guess I can make them reveal their library so I can get some information here. Actually, I'm going to go for a long shot here. I'm going to go grab a Silence and pass the turn. So by grabbing the Silence here, I am giving them the opportunity to misplay. It seems rather unlikely that I win this, but there's a chance. Okay. Auto yield. In hindsight, I should have played out the Chromox Imprinting Burning Wish to play around Daze, but it's not a luxury I have at the moment, so we're just going to hope that they mess up. A lot of Force Negations. Okay. We'll auto yield to the Narcomoeba. They activate Wishclaw. Okay. They milled Oracle. So they could be a Silence here by sacrificing these 3 creatures. I will attempt to silence them. And they did have the Daze. Okay, we're going to game 3. Resubmit. Game 3 on the play versus a nightmare matchup. And this hand is lacking a land. If this had a land over a Wishclaw, this would be a snap keep. I think we have to mulligan. This is actually pretty good. Keep, get rid of the Volcanic. So we are 1 mana short of Lion's Eye Diamond. Or I'm sorry, 1 mana short of Ad Nauseam. I'm just going to pass the turn. You could go like for a turn 1 Echo here, but I think that's just reckless. They play an island and they pass the turn. Another Silence. They brainstorm. They have 8 cards in hand. Scalding Tarn. I was afraid of that. It's a 1-of, and they had it in their hand. Whew. They did not name a card we have. Okay. They now have 6 cards in hand. We'll take a draw. Another Wishclaw. Dark Ritual. I'll cast the Silence. They force a negation pitching the Illusionist. Play out the Diamond. Wishclaw Talisman. And that resolved. Okay, I will pass the turn here. I could try to Echo versus the deck with a bunch of Force Negations and Dazes and whatnot. I'm not going to take that risk. They pitched an Illusionist. I wonder what that means. They play a Flooded Strand. Go to 18 life. Tundra. Oracle to Scry. Big fan of seeing that. They chose to keep a card. Flashback Therapy, are you going to name the Chant here? They do. Alright, so my best draw here is a Lion's Eye Diamond. Draw for turn. Okay, so we hit the land. It allows me to play Wishclaw. I still can't really do anything meaningful. If they kill me, they kill me. I'm not going to echo them when they're like 7 force, 4 days Flusterstorm deck. They've already pitched one Illusionist. They play an Urza Saga. There's the Illusionist. 2 cards. Okay. If my top card is LED, we have Chant into Ad Nauseam. Draw. It doesn't really do anything I want here. I can Ad Nauseam through Daze, but it doesn't beat Force of Will. They have 2 cards in hand, it doesn't beat Fluster. I think I'm going to play it slow. Burning Wish. I think that they flashback the Therapy on Chant because they have interaction in hand. That is what I truly believe here. We'll grab the Echo. Pass the turn. Hopefully I don't have to use this Echo, but it's nice as a second option. Saga goes up to 2. They play another Urza Saga. They can now hardcast Force of Will. They get in for 1. I go to 18. Take a draw. So they're representing lethal here. Oh, geez. Chromox's not a good one. So what I could do is Wishclaw for Orim's Chant, and then Echo with the Wishclaw in play. This Chromox was actually just terrible. They have not revealed the Daze yet, so this plan is also very weak to Daze. Chromox just not ideal. Let's activate the Wishclaw. Grab Silence. Cast it. And there's the Fluster. Okay. Play out a Chromox. We're not going to imprint. We're only playing this out for Metalcraft purposes. And then we're going to attempt to flash back the Echo. Resolved. But we're not in a good spot. This was not enough mana to win. I mean, if I disrespect their draw and just say, you drew nothing, I can win here. Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. So Lion's Eye would be Storm 7. Burning Wish would be 8. Tendrils would be 9. I think that might be better than Echoing again. Play the Diamond. Alright, cross your fingers, everyone. Burning Wish, Storm 8. They play a Brainstorm. Burning Wish on the stack. Force Negation pitching to Fairy. That is the end of our tournament. Once I realized that they were on Cephalid Breakfast, I realized that we weren't likely to win. But it is what it is. I mean, we ran pretty hot today. I'm not going to complain. Top 8 is amazing. I qualified for the Showcase Invitational or whatever the hell it's called, which is great. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Making top 8 today was pretty sweet. That's what I've got. Have a great day. Keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.